Welcome, nerds, to the Shoutout Show. This show serves as both an acknowledgement of you guys being awesome and following and subscribing and doing all of those things, but also a bit of a mailbag situation. We can address some of the things in the comments sections or in the DMs or what have you, and yeah, that's kind of what's going on here. So this week, apparently I am a bit of a misleading clickbait jackass. I don't know. You decide. Okay, so a little bit of an interesting situation. It's been about a month, I think, since we have done a shout-out show. A little over a month, actually, by the time this goes up, I believe. So that means I have notes from two different sessions for acknowledging the subscribers and things, and then we've got a lot of comments to talk about. So let's do the shout outs first. Anyone who has followed me on any of the socials, specifically on the YouTube and Rumble and Twitter, those are the ones I'm the most active on. However, I am also on the Facebooks and the Instagrams, and I guess technically I still have a Gab account, but I honestly haven't looked at that in about a year, so... And what was the other one? There was another one. Not Truth Social. Maybe it was Truth. Maybe I did have one of those. I don't remember, but I don't really check that one anymore either. So yeah, basically just YouTube, Twitter, and Rumble. So if you have followed me there, I have seen you. If you have followed me on any of the other stuff, which I am moderately still active on Instagram, I don't really do a whole lot, but I announce when we're going to have some sort of lapse in the schedule and stuff goes up there. I'm rambling. Thank you very much, nerds, for following and subscribing. The subscribers over on the main YouTube channel, we have Talendariel. I'm sorry, I totally mispronounced your name, but you have subscribed over on both channels, as well as Scott Collins. You have also subscribed on both channels. Thank you very much, nerds, for those subscriptions. And then on the second YouTube channel, the Clips channel, we have Ryan Kaylor, the man of the house, Scott Collins again, Dirk Head, John Collin, Trevor Dobransky, Cody Thompson, 82nd Drive, and Daniel Franco. Thank you very much, nerds, for the subscriptions and the follows. These are, once again, these are the people who have their settings set to public so I can see when they subscribe. If you have your settings set to private, more power to you. I just can't give you your shout out. So the only way you get a shout out is if you leave a comment. So go ahead and do that. But we also have two new Rumble subscribers. We have Keen as well as MN Hippie. So thank you very much, nerds, for the subscribes and follows and such over on Rumble as well. Hopefully soon we will be in a situation where I can give a little bit more love to the Rumble side of things, but what with their issues with YouTube not going over so well, that's kind of been a little bit iffy recently. So that being said, let's get to the comments for the week. This is the mail time. We're going to start with the oldest stuff first. So,
alright, so before we get into the actual, comments, the reason you're here, I just have to address something real quick. Hi, this is Nerdagon. There was a whole little skit here that was supposed to introduce me, but footage got lost. It's been over a month since we filmed this, and generally speaking, this guy just, I don't know, forgot how to run a YouTube channel or something. So, I mean, if you guys will subscribe and leave a like and stuff, and then maybe we can afford to not just pay me, but also bring in some help so this guy can stop screwing everything up. I don't know, I guess it's just kind of what humans do, but it is what it is. I mean, look at the footage right here that you're staring at right now. That's just me flopping about for something else. He took the audio off of that, and he's giving you the audio from here. Either way, let's get to the comments, I guess. Yeah, okay, bye.
we're going to be talking about this video. No, I think this is the last we are going to be talking about this video. There's other videos that we're going to be spending a little bit more time on. So without further ado, this comes from the reaction to Scene Queen. This is Scene Queen is the name of the video. I don't remember the song we did. 18 Plus, I think, was the name of the song. Yeah. This comment is from Proto Jaeger, and Proto Jaeger says,
in case anyone's wondering, the genre is referred to as bimbocore. The bright pink, overly sexualized imagery and metal sound are all entirely intentional. Like it or not, she's creating and maintaining her image in exactly the way she intends. Ugh.
Okay, so to kind of get into this one, I don't know. I mean, it's been a minute since I don't generally watch my own videos, but it's been a minute since I did that video, and I haven't watched it recently. But I'm pretty sure I never said that she was not doing what she intended to do. I just said what she is intending to do has no soul. I even directly referenced the bimbocore element of what you're talking about, because that was part of the article that I read in whatever magazine it was, which I can't remember at this point, that even clued me in as to who the hell she was to begin with. So anyone who hasn't watched that video, or if you're just unfamiliar of who Scene Queen is, imagine, if you will, take Poppy, right? You know how Poppy sounds like, the pop vocals with a metal background, and then take someone like Ashnikko, who the more of the hip hop rap vocal stylings, kind of still white girl sound though. Socially conscious. I honestly haven't paid much attention to the lyrical content of Poppy, so I don't know how socially conscious she is, but I do know that Ashnikko is fairly socially conscious. Whatever that may mean to you is irrelevant. So you put those two together. You put those two sounds together. Very, very poppy kind of bright stuff with metal guitars kind of in the background and a lot of rap vocals, and then take all of the meaning away from what those two artists are trying to do and just make it totally vapid and empty, and that is Scene Queen. So yeah, I was not very kind to Scene Queen. I never said it was unintentional. I never said that her look was unintentional. I just said it's dumb. I don't know where some of this stuff comes from, but that's what we got for there. So let's move over. For the first time in this video, we're going to head over to the clips channel. So the first video there we have is a suggestion video, because the clips get cut down smaller over there. It comes from Zeroth Sort, and Zeroth says,
seeing them at Rockville this May, grew up on this record, cannot wait!
Yeah, Atreyu the Curse is a record that I am intimately familiar with, so it's always great to see when other people are also very familiar with it and love it as much as I do. Though Rockville, I think, is already done, so well, how was it? Or it's later, I can't remember, but it's sometime very soon. Either way, by the time you see this video, how was it? All right, so over on, we have a music section from a few weeks ago. Big Tour announces the name of the video. The comment comes from Envixity Blade, and Mr. Blade, or Mrs. Blade, says,
you gained my sub. Definitely gonna check out more of your content.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I've been getting a fair bit of these kind of comments recently, so I appreciate when people acknowledge the very hard work that I put into this. I lose a lot of sleep trying to maintain these YouTube channels, so yeah, absolutely much appreciated. Tell your friends, bring them along, get all of the news and the things and all of the fun.
That's a fun one, right? And remember, that's all made by one person.
And then we're moving over to rebooting an epic fantasy. This was a movie section, movie clip that got sent over to the clip channel, dealing specifically with Neverending Story. So Jason Martin is the first comment on this one, and Jason says,
that hat, my dude, is fire.
Thank you very much for the acknowledgement. Yes, I am a bit of a fan as well. So I believe I've already responded to you in the comments section in text. So yes, I got this at Comic-Con. I just don't remember what year. I think it was 2018, could have been 2017, but I'm pretty sure it was 2018. I've had it for a long time. You can see the sweat marks. I try and edit those out of all of the thumbnails. But either way, yeah, I like it. And the shirt I was wearing in that video definitely matches. So there you go. And then also Holly Laws. There's two L's in that name. Holly Laws also commented on this video, and Holly says,
"Oh God, no. Hands off Gen Xers' childhood. Trash studios keep coming after our stuff because they have no original thoughts of their own. Sad face, shocked face."
Generally speaking, I will definitely agree with you. However, the Neverending Story was not an original idea unto itself to begin with. It was it's novel. It's a book before it was a movie. And the movie that we got in the 80s, or was it like 87, I'm pretty sure. The movie that we got was only half of the book. So they didn't even properly complete the story. So I think there's room for interpretation there. I think that a different interpretation that theoretically could be more in line with the source material could be a very welcome difference in the interpretations, right? So I know I'm generally a bit more optimistic than a lot of the community is when it comes to stuff like this, but this is one that I am very much okay with the idea of them trying to do something new with, so long as they don't do it bad. But that kind of goes for most everything. As long as it's a good new thing, by all means, please continue. But if it's just there so that you can maintain your rights to the license, or so that you can check as many socially conscious boxes on your social justice checklist, these are all poor reasons to do a thing. If it does that as well as tells a compelling story and is very well put together and is good, then that is irrelevant and nobody will care because it's going to be so good that this stuff just kind of takes a back seat. So this is an argument that's been made a million times over and will be continue to be making that for as long as we need to. All right, so let's now go to the more recent ones. Yeah, we've already done that. All right, there we go. Our first one comes from the Fallout is Everywhere video. It was 2 weeks ago, pre-recorded episode. This comes from Gravy Games. And Gravy says,
"Holy shit, I thought this would be a huge channel. You deserve way more subs."
Once again, thank you so much for acknowledging that I, again, put a hell of a lot of work into this channel and these channels, these videos and things. So again, if you have people in your life who could also benefit from these conversations and this kind of information and just the general discussion going back and forth, bring them along. Just text them the link to the video or the channel even, that could be better, and grow this community with me, because any little bit helps. So
that's a fun one, right? And remember, that's all made by one person.
All right, so back over to the Clips channel. We are now talking once again about Atreyu the Cursed. This one comes from Cheyenne K Life. Cheyenne K says,
"Agreed. I wore this CD out when it dropped back in high school. Can't believe it's been that long. Stills holds up. Metal horns."
100% absolutely agree that this record holds up. The Curse is one of, when talking about great metalcore records, is definitely one that falls easily inside of the top 20. What the fuck? This record easily is top 20 material, and for me personally, it's going to be top 10. I think that The Curse is almost a perfect metalcore record, so metalcore is one of my genres of choice and absolutely is just, yeah. Continuing on. We have another shorts. This one was Archive 81 was a suggestion for TV a while ago at this point. There were a couple of comments. We're not going to go through every individual comment because some of them are irrelevant to the conversation, but Fajamang, I believe is how this is pronounced, Fajamang says,
"Bro, I wish the creators would pitch the idea or sell it to another platform like Hulu or HBO Max. Sad, just finished it. Left us on a cliffhanger. Now I'm just wondering what would have happened."
Oh man, Preacher Meet Choir. This is definitely prime example of why Netflix needs to sign for multiple seasons for stuff like this. Especially because they're still like promoting the show. So it must have done at least well enough that they think it's something that should be promoted. So if they should be promoting season 1, why would they not then also at least give us a second season so we can get some sort of conclusions, to get some sort of catharsis out of the story? Because that ending just, oh my goodness. So disappointing. Anyway, agreed. Moving on. Then we're moving over. Oh God, this is the gaming clip from 2 weeks ago's episode that specifically deals with Fallout 4. 3 weeks ago, actually, because 2 weeks ago was Fallout 76. So 3 weeks ago was Fallout 4. There's a lot of comments here. So we have, let's just go through this. All right. So Fallout 4 update, question mark. First comment comes from Jung Un Kim. And Mr. Kim says,
misleading thumbnail.
And then before I get into my response there, then we're going to get into the next one. Actually, the next 2 comments come from Angus K2. And Angus says,
nerd news clips, you only start talking about Fallout 4 at 29:58. A full half hour into the video. I skipped through until I found it, and now I can't be bothered watching it as like it Fernand Santos. My 3PB very misleading. Nerd news clips, that was just clickbait jumping on the Fallout TV show hype bandwagon, and it worked 1.8k views, but how many do you think was pissed off and came back to watch more?
Okay, so let's break down a little bit of how YouTube works, shall we? So first and foremost, the purpose of the thumbnail is to get people to come into the episode. Now, clickbait is verboten here on the platform, so you cannot put things in the thumbnail that don't actually exist in the episode. So if I make an episode talking about TV shows and I put bikini-clad women in the thumbnail, I'm gonna get a ding from YouTube because we don't talk about bikini-clad women unless there's a TV show about them, but then how is that a nerdy thing? And we're not going to get into social issues with nerds anyway. So that's just kind of our real quick example, right? So in order for it to be a misleading thumbnail, there has to be some sort of information in said thumbnail that does not get addressed in the episode. There is a Fallout 4 update coming, and we talked about it. And in the thumbnail specifically, it says more than an update, question mark, because there's more than just an update coming to Fallout 4. The update ostensibly is that they're going to nativize the game to current generation platforms. So it's going to look better because it's built natively on current generation hardware. And then there's also going to be new DLC for Fallout 4. So there's more than just an update. Hence, more than an update, question mark? So yeah, no, misleading just because I didn't talk about it as soon as you wanted me to in that episode, because that was a very long gaming and tech section. So admittedly, it was a longer video than I normally get to when it comes to Fallout, or when it comes to gaming and tech stuff, but it's news. Like that's the dealing with the stuff that Angus rather said. I didn't start talking about it until 30 minutes into the video. Yeah. That's kind of what happens when I'm talking about news. Like, so a lot of other news channels that deal with similar topics as I do here on this channel, or on the main channel even, they do a single topic per video, which makes their video lengths shorter and also makes it easier for them to do thumbnails. I don't have that kind of time. I do still have a day job. I don't make money doing the YouTubes at the moment, in spite of the fact that I have a partnership with Dubby, which is great. I appreciate the guys over at Dubby. That has yet to show any fruit. So, because I don't have the time, because I work 40 hours a week, and I also produce, at the very minimum, I produce 8 videos a week, at the minimum. Then on top of that, I usually have a small handful of shorts, and if I get to everything I want to get to, then I'm producing 12 to 15 regular length videos a week, plus a plethora of shorts. Like, these things, I can't record for an hour every day and then edit that every day. Like, that's just, it doesn't. So I do long form content. When you do long form news content, sometimes news goes to the back of that long form. I don't understand why people have such issues with this. All right.
That's a fun one, right? And remember, that's all made by one person.
Being a little too animated. I just lost my pen. Okay, so how many people do you think got pissed off by... Yes, there are a lot of views on that video, and I'm super grateful that Fallout was so relevant at the time that I published that video. It's great. It does a lot of things for me. But the algorithm sees that I have a lot of views on that video. I actually got quite a bit of subscriptions from that video as well. And all of the videos I've published since that video have done exceptionally well by comparison also. Not as well as the Fallout video, but pretty damn well by comparison to previous videos on the channel. So yeah, I think a lot of people saw it. I think some of them were a little grumpy because the dislike ratio was a little high, but it still did a lot for the channel in the good realm of things. So yeah, no, I don't regret doing what I did at all in any respect, because the algorithm, it just likes engagement. It doesn't have to be positive engagement, but I'm not trying to I'm not trying to bait people into negative engagement. It's just, that is the way the cards fell for that episode. So I don't know. That's what we got there. Let's move again. Next, we have a music section. This is from 2 weeks ago's music section, dealing with Marilyn Manson and how Five Finger Death Punch is kind of doing promotional stuff to assure people that Manson is there to put on a show, and he's not strung out. He's not drinking a lot like he was in the last time he went out live, which was a long time ago at this point. So they're doing a lot. They're extending the olive branch to Manson and also to the fans who have been burned by Manson in the recent past. So that's kind of the context for this. So how long can he stay canceled is the name of the episode. It's the music section from, again, 2 weeks ago. We have a number of comments here, so let's go there. First one comes from David DeRoos. David says,
Manson sexually assaulted multiple women. He should be in prison.
Somebody doesn't actually read the news because you're just going on the opinions of other people. People don't like Manson. They hear that he's been accused of something horrible, and then you run with it. This is kind of how a lot of our social interactions go. It's really unfortunate that you feel that way, but you're also exposing yourself as an idiot because you don't know the actual story. So is Manson a questionable person when it comes to his personal morals? Yeah, probably. Is Manson somebody that I would ever want to spend any extended amount of time with personally, just one-on-one? Absolutely not. Is Manson an artist that makes really good music? Yes, I'll say that. Is he guilty of the things he's been accused of? Well, as we go further and further away from those accusations in time, those accusations have all started to unravel. Very, 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 very much unravel, and he's not been convicted of any sort of felony at this point. So no, prison time is not deserved because you dislike Marilyn Manson. You dislike Marilyn Manson, so you're going to stop listening to his music. That's how that works. All right, Scott Collins is the next one. Scott Collins says,
Came here for metal, subscribed over a Mortal Kombat Armageddon poster.
I actually have two of them on the set, I think. So there's the big one here. This is Mortal Kombat Armageddon. My little one actually is up there. You can't see it, but I have a smaller one. It's in an envelope. It's all of my Mortal Kombat stuff. I have all of my collector's editions of the games and stuff just out of frame up here. And there's I Shaolin Monks thing, and I put my smaller poster there. So yeah, I'm a bit of a Mortal Kombat fan. Armageddon, I have a pretty fond memory of playing Armageddon, though I don't know that you can play it these days on the Xbox One, or series rather. Where are we at? Next, we're going to Diedrich DeGroot, and Diedrich says,
As if FFDP didn't suck without MM.
Five Finger Death Punch sells millions and millions of albums. They are multiple certified gold, platinum, lots of success in their careers. Very, very talented musicians even. You cannot discredit them for being able to play their instruments well and being able to write catchy music. I understand that you are not a fan of the music that they write, but to discredit them as, well, how did you say it? Didn't suck. To say that they suck is also kind of exposing you as an idiot, because just because they don't make the music you like doesn't mean they're not talented. Like that, I feel like people are just so want to just shit on everything. The Five Finger Death Punch is the new Nickelback. It's just the way it is. Nickelback still multi-millionaires, even though everybody for a long time really just took every opportunity they could to shit on them. That's kind of where Five Finger Death Punch is. People are still going to the shows. People are still buying the records. They're still listening to it on the radio. They're still watching the videos on YouTube. Like the more methinks he doth protest too much, I think is where we're going with that one. The more you tell me how much they suck, the more I think you probably listen to them in secret. So there's that. And then to rope Marilyn Manson into, like, this is a very strange bill. You've got Five Finger, Marilyn Manson, and Slaughter to Prevail on this bill. So like this is you can't. I don't even know where to start with that one. So we're just gonna move right along. Moving right along, we have Dirkhead has left 2 comments on this video because I responded to the one. So we're gonna talk about that. But the first one says,
Will Ramos and Tom Barber can actually sing very well.
Yes, Will Ramos and Tom Barber both can sing exceptionally well, and that is evidenced by the track that they did together on the new August Burns Red record. And then his second comment was as follows.
Nerd News Clips. I actually think Lorna Shore is working on something big and Will has been releasing songs featuring different styles of singing to see which style is more received. My favorite so far is the song Riptide he did with Gnarly Neighbor.
I believe the next Lorna Shore record will also be something very big. I think that The Pain Remains was kind of them proving they could do a themed record. That's not the word I'm looking for, but that's the one that's coming to me. ADD is a wonderful thing. So, but they said in no uncertain terms, but I think it was even just before they hired Will, that they will never have in their band ever, they will never have a melodic or a sung vocal. There will not be singing. It will always be screaming in some fashion. So that is an edict that they have put out there as a band, and Will is going to have to stick to that. Now, Will doesn't have to do that in his other projects, and he hasn't been exclusively just screaming in his other projects, which is how we know that he can do more than just the crazy amounts of screaming voices that he has. So yeah, I hope that they change that edict for the band, but I don't see that happening necessarily anytime soon. So from there, we have one more on this video, and it comes from someone calling themselves Jonathan Willis. And Jonathan Willis says,
I hear he had his career removed so he can fellate his own ribs.
all right. So I must admit, when I first read this comment, I had to stop scrolling and just laughed, just belly laughed. This was, the comment award of the day goes to Mr. Jonathan Willis. That was awesome. I appreciate you, sir. Please subscribe. From there, though, we're going to move over into something a little bit shorter, music section. Actually, this wasn't a music section. This was a clip from the music section 2 weeks ago. We're talking about Alex Terrible's vocal cover of a Lorna Shore song. So speaking of Lorna Shore, we're still there. Let's talk about that real quick. Caden Davidson says this.
Personally, I think Alex is an asshole and very ego, but good video. Heart.
Thank you for the acknowledgement. Once again, that you appreciate the quality of the video and the work that I put into it. Arrogant. Yes, Alex Terrible is absolutely arrogant. He has a bit of an ego. This is the nail on the head right there. Absolutely. Asshole? I don't think so. I really don't think so. You really have to watch any of the interviews that he's done. You really have to just follow him on his socials. He has an Instagram account that's actually kind of awesome. And then he also created an Instagram account for his dog Guts, who is, Guts is almost as big as Alex. Guts is a pit bull. He's a brown pit bull, or a brindle, I think is what they call the color. He's a great dog. I think we went and saw him recently, and my girlfriend was just grumpy that Guts didn't come out on stage because he's a sweetheart. I wouldn't necessarily want to mess with him if Alex wasn't around, but I would really like to meet him if Alex is there. But yeah, I don't think asshole is a way to describe Alex Terrible really at all, unless you're challenged by somebody being very confident, then that's a personal issue and that has nothing to do with Alex. So there you go. And then we have our final one for the episode, comes from a short where I was laying out a dream scenario for a tour bill. We're talking about, it was Escuela Grind, Spirit Box, and Ginger. I think that would be a hell of a bill to go see. For whatever reason, I just felt like honestly, what started that, I'm gonna get into a little bit of the short because I can only get into so much detail in a minute, right? But the honest genesis of that short idea came from because I think that Spirit Box and Ginger would be a great bill together. Nothing to do with the fact that they're both fronted by females, everything to do with the fact that they are just really incredibly talented musicians, and just so happens that their two singers are female. So that is why I also then included Escuela Grind, just because, like, if we're going with a theme, we might as well stick to the theme. And it's a natural theme. I really think, honestly, anyone could open that bill and it would be a hell of a show. You could even throw on 5 bands. You get Ginger, Spirit Box, and then say someone like Lorna Shore is coming in just before Spirit Box because Ginger obviously is going to headline. They're probably the biggest band on that bill. And then you get somebody smaller like, I don't know, like a Knocked Loose or a Throne. So Throne, Knocked Loose, who did I just say? Whatever. That would be your bill, and that would be an incredible bill. It doesn't have to be all females, but again, I had a minute to go through theme, right? So there you go. Anyway, so James Beeson decided to chime in with this wonderful missive. What about those 3 bands is boring to you? Like, what the hell are you listening to that Escuela Grind, Spirit Box, and Ginger comes across as boring? I feel like you are part of the problem, sir. I'm not generally one to make statements as such, but like, all of the people who complain about gatekeepers in the nerd community, gatekeepers in the music community, specifically in the metal side of things in the music community, they're talking about you, because that's a hell of a bill. There's no two ways about it. That is a hell of a bill. So yeah, if you think that's boring, I feel like you need to readjust your perspective. But anyway, that is where we are going to end this episode of the Shout Out Show. Thank you very much, nerds, for joining me. I appreciate all of you every time we do this wonderful thing that we call the Shout Out Show. Thank you very much, Nerdagon, for joining me as well. As always, I appreciate your faces. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here, and I'm gonna shout you out.